Good day, everybody. Sebastian Gaines here. This is going to be another Watch Your Realms video. Today, we're going to be discussing as to how you can approach beating stage 12 of the Trial of the Infernal. For me, this is the last one that allowed me to get the free legendary that we all get upon completing the faction trials. So before I show you how the run was conducted, I'm going to show you the units that I used and why I brought him in. So we're going to for sure need Surtrum for this. He is going to be the one that is going to allow us to bring this boss down as quickly as possible. And I had him in an Infernal set, 19,000 attack, 351 speed, and as much crit damage as you can. Of course, be close to crit cap as you can be. The reason that I wanted as much speed on him as possible is so his rage regeneration built a little bit quicker. If you can get some rage regeneration, you can possibly sacrifice some attack speed, but you just want to make sure that he gets that second fill as quickly as possible so you can take your turn at the same time that both Dolores and Pyrus are going to be ready for it. And then you'll see all of this when I take you through the clip. Of course, I am using Scylla as well, and you know, she is build 13,000 attack with 415 speed, 386 critical damage. So just keep in mind that I did go for a slight, very good damage build to make sure that all the units on the right hand side were taken care of. You saw the artifacts that I used here for Surtrum and Scylla. Hex, I used them primarily to help bring the tanks down. So yeah, he's gonna be 13,000 attack, some speed, some critical damage. He does well, and if you have a better build Hex, you have as an awakened Hex, he'll do a lot better for you, melting the tanks that I did that we have to tackle down. But my main unit to bring those was going to be Nocturne. So that's why he has a little bit more attack, 319 speed, and 25 critical damage. And he has a very leveled Tear of Twilight artifact. So keep that in mind. You're gonna see that Orin is in my roster because I was doing some trials with him in the previous runs that I was doing, because I wanted to see how well he did as a tank when it came to this. If you can get Autumn to heal him as fast as possible, you could possibly use him for a tank. But I actually like Titus better for this, because he has the ability, number one, with his ultimate, to regenerate his own health, and then number two, if he does get killed, he can come back one more time. And even though he has a high cost, I really like him for this in this particular setup, and that's why I prefer using Titus over Orin. As you can see here that I kind of build him for damage. I was really going for attack speed, and that's what I wanted him to have, so his rage regeneration could come back quicker. It's not necessarily because he was doing damage to the boss. I just needed him to build his rage regeneration to break down those shields when the boss brought him up. Soleil, I actually liked using her for this, and the reason for that is because you're going to see all those units coming in from the right hand side. So she has that ultimate where this fireball will start bouncing around the units and it starts doing damage. So her damage is not technically AoE, single target, but you'll see this thing just bounce around, and she'll help Scylla to bring down those units relatively quicker. So you can see that I had this mid-tier Night Terror set that I had laying around, so I just gave it to her, and that was good enough. You can see here with the Titus has the Eclipse set, so as much HP and defense as possible. I did give him some attack speed so he can do a little bit of damage. Of course, he didn't really come into play too much. I am going to show the artifacts here in a minute, Dolores, yeah, kind of an end game build. So invigoration set. You can probably get away with the glacier set. Just make sure that she's gonna give you enough of a boost on the damage, especially for Surtram. So she had the ore for the artifact. So Lil here had a Tear of Twilight artifact. Titus had Bastion Ring, what used to be Oleg's Wall, and Pyrus. I gave him the Unfortunate Skull. And I think that was pretty much it when it came to the units that were essential for this run. So now let's go see the run and how exactly I approached this. Okay, so here's the start of the run. So the first unit I'm going to place down is going to be Surtram. And I actually prefer to place him closest to the boss. And there are some strategies that you can deploy where you can place him here and then have him facing over to the left hand side. Then he can deal with units here, and he can also help you bring down the tanks if that's the strategy you need to use. You just gotta make sure that his rage regeneration builds enough and quickly enough so you can get that second hit in. Okay, let me pause this here. So, but the reason that I placed him on the left hand side here, or in the left hand side of this part of the platform, which is closest to the boss here, is because after I use his ultimate, I want him to build his regeneration, and he is going to be aiming at the boss. He is going to be using his basic attacks, which allows him to build the rage a lot quicker. Okay, so that's why I placed him here, and he is particular here to bring down the boss. But there are strategies where you can place him right here, so when these tanks start piling up here, he has at least an opportunity to help you bring them down if you need that help. Okay, still too, I'm gonna place him place her here, one tile above the crystal here, just to make sure that she does not get hit, and she can also has the coverage area to bring everything that is coming from this portal down as quickly as possible. So as you can see here, I already activated her ultimate. I just wanted to make sure that these units did not come close to her, did not affect her health, and tried to bring them down as quickly as I can. All right, so as soon as Pyrus's ultimate is ready to be used, I activated it. I activated Dolores's ultimate, and I activated Surtram's ultimate. And so the key here that I was looking for is not only to bring down the shield as quickly as possible. I'm trying to bring him down, what I found out for me to work, below 35%, because he will gain some health back. But I know that if I keep him below 50%, I'm going to have a better chance of bringing him down on the second activation of the ultimate. All right, so now one of the things that I'm looking for here is to try to place down Nocturne as soon as possible so he can build his rage, because we're going to need him to eliminate this tank here and do as little damage as possible to Titus. So the next unit that I'm going to place down is going to be Titus. So let's just try to block this tank here from getting to the crystal. And the next one that I'm gonna be using, so you see how just using Nocturne's ultimate is going to melt that tank, but unfortunately with the boss still here, he could still come back around and be alive for it. I'm gonna bring in Soleil now to deal with these mobs here, this very high HP, high defense mobs. So you saw here the boss gained a little bit of health, so now he's almost close to 60%. But I already used Pyrus's ultimate previous to that as well. So in case, so before all of that, so I know there's a lot of things going on here, but I think that after we had Surtram do his first ultimate, right? So Pyrus came back around. So see, Pyrus is already building his ultimate again. So I activated it to try to get as much of this down as possible so the boss did not gain too much health, right? So now he's close to about 42%. So I want to make sure that on the wraparound he's not above 60%. That's what my goal was with that shield on. All right, so now let me fast forward again. We'll go over to this area now with all these mobs here. So here, when I activate the, so when I activated it, so look at all the ultimates already popping off. So I activated Pyrus, I have Silitu already activated to deal with this. I am going after Solil, I'm going after Sertram, and I'm also keeping an eye on Titus, okay? Because as soon as I can, I'm going to activate his ultimate so he can regenerate some of his HP before he dies. So now you can see Sertram is going ham on the boss, and here's where I'm just hoping that Pyrus lands the vulnerability so I can bring him down as quickly as possible. You see Silitu and Solil just bring down these units, so now their job is done. Now I have to concentrate down here. You saw me activate Titus's ultimate, he regenerated his HP. Right now I'm feeling good about this run, okay, because now all I have to do is, at least here, Hex is doing some damage to the units, especially with the burn, and I'm just waiting now for Nocturne to get his ultimate ready, because as soon as I can activate it, and I can start melting all of this. So the reason that I recall Sertram and I recalled Silitu here, is because if in case I felt like I was going to lose Titus, I could quickly bring in Orin, bring in Autumn for a little bit of healing, okay? But then at the same time as these were ready, I could bring in Silitu, place her here, having her face to the left to deal with the tanks. And then Sertram if I needed him after that. But that was pretty much it. That was the run. That's how I brought it down, and that's one of the strategies, especially if you have the two heroes, Nocturne and Silitu, that you can use. I did speak to my good buddy, Mr. Hot Sauce. He does not have Silitu, and he was able to complete it without her. So I'm gonna talk to him about it, and hopefully I can bring you that setup in another video, in case you don't have Silitu at the stage of the game that you're going to be tackling this. But you are going to need one of the two. You're gonna need Nocturne, or you're gonna need Silitu to beat this, so you can melt the tanks that you're gonna need to bring down before they bring your tank down. All right. Okay, and then as you can see here on the bottom, once you get all of the faction trials completed, you're going to have an opportunity of collecting this divine crystal alongside with the free card here. And I actually after I had done collecting the clips, I made the mistake of clicking on the divine crystals thinking that it would not collect the card. It did collect the card. I did see an animation, and this is what I got. So all that effort got me a Regulus. So I hope that you all now have at least an idea of what you're going to need to complete this. Make sure you get that timing correctly between Pyrus, Dolores, and Sertram, so you can do as much damage as you can to the boss so you can bring him down. And if you don't bring him down on the second one, on that second try, he's gonna revive everybody, and your run is gonna be done. So you gotta make sure that you have things set up correctly so you can bring down the boss on that second pulse when Sertram is ready to unleash his ultimate again. I hope that helps you. If you found this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe. There will be more content coming in the future, and I thank you all very much for tuning in and watching, and I will see you next time.
Defeat won't define me.